Is it a myth? Is it a reality? Or somewhere in between? The question about whether it costs more to eat a clean or healthy diet has been debated for quite a while, especially as schedules get busier, food gets easier and faster to get on the go, and the amount of influence the food companies and industry messaging have on us grows stronger. For a lot of people, this can be a roadblock to getting started on a clean diet. I will admit that for me, it was more of an excuse than it was a roadblock. And it really is because I fell in the trap of listening to people who hadn't succeeded on diet plans themselves, weight loss journeys themselves, or consistent fitness programs themselves. I thought they knew what they were talking about, and they were sincere in what they told me. But sincere does not always mean right. You can be sincerely wrong. You may not believe 100% of what I cover in this video to be accurate. But what I want to do for you in this video is go through a list of barriers and obstacles that we either think ourselves or someone else may have led us to believe about the financial burden of eating healthy. Hopefully by the end we will have covered a few things that helps you think twice about the subject and give you enough of a perspective to make a decision for yourself. Let's go. If this is our first time meeting, my name is Marcus Bailey. It's my goal to help as many people as possible not only make the decision to take control of their health and wellness, but give you tips and resources to help make that journey enjoyable and help you stick to that long term. So, you're ready to eat clean, but you're not sure if you can go all in and stay inside of your budget. Or maybe you're eating clean already and you feel like it's taking too much time and money to stay consistent. Or maybe you've already convinced yourself that now's not the right time to commit to a clean and healthy diet because you're pretty sure that the cost is just going to be too much. Wherever you're at on the subject, let's jump into the topic on whether it really costs more to eat clean or eat a healthy diet. And if you hear anything in this video that you want to call BS on, please let me know in the comments and let's start a dialogue on it. It's important to me to know what your experiences have been so that I can create content that creates more value for you. The way that we'll move through this video and present the information is to go through some common thoughts and assumptions that you may have heard about adopting a healthy diet. Some things you may have heard in the past, some things you may be thinking about now, some maybe you haven't even considered yet. This may seem pretty general, but in order to keep this video from lasting hours, we had to keep it at a pretty high level because there's so many circumstances and paths that we could potentially go down. If you have a specific scenario, please let me know in the comments. These are in no particular order. If something sounds way off in terms of explanation or reasoning, please let me know. If you hear something that makes sense, I'd love to hear that as well. I'll have all the different reasons time-stamped in the description so that if you want to fast forward or skip through or revisit the video later and go to a specific place, you'll be able to do that. Here we go. I have to start doing all of my shopping at the local health food or specialty store where everything costs way more. If you've made this assumption, don't feel bad. It's easy to think of our large grocery store chains as somewhere where you go to get the normal food, the junk food, or the unhealthy stuff, and view health food stores as the cornucopia of good eating. I will say this is a myth for almost everyone watching, except of course if your only close option is a small neighborhood grocery store or convenience store that may not have a lot of options. If this is the case, I would advise planning your grocery store trips around your trips to work or somewhere else that may take you outside of your normal neighborhood surroundings. There's plenty of good produce, unprocessed and unrefined foods, and choices available with no added sugars and preservatives at all the major chains. Now, if you want to move to a healthy diet and at the same time adopt new and exotic dishes that require you to go and get rare spices, new cuts of rare meat, and special brands only carried by certain places, that makes your new taste the cause of the increase, not the new lifestyle. It has to be all in, all or nothing, all at the same time, all right now. Now, while I respect and admire anyone who wants to go after this new healthy lifestyle in that way, it will likely make it seem that you've chosen a more expensive path, simply because you really don't know yet what to buy, what you like, what to get rid of, and what to keep. Eating healthy for most people is not only easier to transition to, but also easier to stick with if you take calculated steps into it. Think of someone who wakes up one day and says, enough is enough. I want to be financially fit and let my money work for me instead of me working for it. They turn on their computer, open up an online trading account, and dump their savings account on stocks they've seen in the news, heard about from friends, or they just pick the companies they know are big and successful. they will definitely have a bad experience unless they are extremely, and I mean extremely lucky. So to them, it's expensive to invest. Your healthy diet doesn't have to be a purge of the $250 in groceries you just bought, followed by making it rain at the grocery store so that you can fill up your cabinets and refrigerator to capacity. You can take reasonable steps over a reasonable amount of time so that you can really move into eating all healthy foods in a way that allows you to invest in your health just like you would invest in the market. You may go from spending $5 on orange juice this week to spending $5 on oranges next week. Or you might buy rolled or steel-cut oatmeal this week with the same money that you used to buy 2 boxes of Quaker instant oatmeal packs last week. Of course, if you are participating in some specific 30-day challenge or some special detox that requires you to have certain items, that extra cost is because of that plan that you're participating in, not because of a healthy diet. Eating healthy should not start with adding stuff. It should start off with taking away. Now, this may not apply to everyone like it applied to me, but starting a new food and drink plan should really start with cutting back before you start adding to. What I mean by that is that if you are really in phase 1 of your healthy eating journey, the first thing you should do after you've really tracked your food and drink and truly know where you are right now is to look at foods, restaurants, indulgences, and beverages that you should really start to eliminate first. So you really should see a decrease in spending before you are at risk of spending more. If you are wanting to eat healthy, primarily to lose weight, and you have, let's say, 10 beers per week at $5 each at your local bar or happy hour, cutting that back to say 2 per week as an example is almost 1,500 calories you no longer have to take in and $40 you no longer have to shell out. Similarly, a Starbucks Grande Latte every morning during the week may run you $25 and almost 1,000 calories in. Making that a black coffee with creamer and a packet of sugar is $10 and 250 calories per week. Now, I'm not advocating for sugar or cream, but in the spirit of cutting back, you see how making the first steps towards a healthy diet should start with saving calories in and money out. Of course, food works the same way. If you tend to overindulge with potato chips, ice cream, candy bars, muffins, and those cinnamon crunch bagels at Panera that are so good, cutting those out or down at a significant rate saves money and calories. We assume everything is priced fairly and based on its true cost to getting to market. Similar to other examples given within this video, the notion of it costing more to eat healthy or eat clean is not all about your cash. It's also about your convenience, and definitely about the cash flow for the producers and the packagers. I'm not trying to turn you into a conspiracy theorist or anti-big business person. I'm just going to lay out some numbers so you can see the cost of eating and drinking what's good for you is very different if you are relying on prepared, pre-packaged, and pre-made food and drinks. Let me start with a look at water versus soft drinks. The price to make 1,000 gallons of purified water is about $1.50. The price you pay for a 16-ounce bottle of Aquafina or Dasani is about $1. One reason for the heavy price markup is because there is also a cost to package that in individual bottles. The price hike also comes from Coca-Cola and Pepsi's obligation to its shareholders to make a profit. So when you add soft drinks to the mix, it only makes sense that it costs a little more to add the secret ingredients and the sugar, although sugar is heavily subsidized to make it cheaper. But with Coca-Cola and Pepsi owning both the soft drink and the water, it makes good business sense for the 16 ounces of water to cost about the same as the 16 ounces of pop or soda. Let's look at something in the grocery, romaine lettuce. You can spend about $4.50 for 2 bags of cut and rinsed romaine lettuce packaged as a pre-made salad kit. Or you can buy a head of romaine lettuce equaling about the same weight for about $1.50. So here you can see that you aren't paying much more to eat healthy. You are paying more for the convenience of someone cutting up the lettuce for you and putting it in a plastic bag. There are hundreds of items around the grocery store just like this that I've seen reports and analysis from both Forbes and Harvard. So the key takeaway here is when you buy the prepackaged or individually wrapped versions of food and drinks that you could portion out yourself, it's not the cost of eating healthy that you feel taxing you. It's really the cost of convenience and doing business that you're paying. Taking on a few self-prep tasks and getting a gallon of spring water and pouring it into your own bottle can turn into a several $100 difference over months or a year. We think in terms of restaurant menu prices. This one may only apply if you're someone who goes out to eat often, maybe 5 days a week for lunch and dinner. When you look at the menu and see a full, regular, off-diet meal for $13.99 and then want to consider a salad instead, only to find when you flip the page, the cost of an entree salad is the same price. See, I told you this healthy stuff is more expensive. That's not enough to get me full, and if I want to add some other side items, that's $3 each. That's the old banana in the tailpipe trick again, just like that previous example about fair food prices, and for whose benefit they are set when you buy processed and packaged foods. In a standard restaurant, the highest profit margin items are drinks, pasta, and salads. So their goal as a business isn't really to give you a menu that's marked up evenly across all items. It's to position things in such a way that all the prices are about even, makes you feel like you're getting a good value, and makes the only hard pick you have is what to eat. Now, I'm not slamming the restaurant business because there are a lot of intangibles such as a good atmosphere, jobs for a lot of people, and being a great place to meet and unwind that make them valuable. I'm simply saying, don't base your opinion of healthy eating costs on the restaurant's business model. Your path to health is not the same direction as their path to profit. So the real cost here is not for healthy food, it's for the dining experience. We think of time and cost in a linear manner versus having an X and Y axis. Essentially, this means we are looking at time and money in the present tense when we're making a food decision. It's hard to look beyond the choices we're making right now to see the long-term impact. Now, this one has a lot of details that we can go into, but I'll save that for other videos because it is important that you have access to those in their own conversation. I'll just give two hypothetical examples. Let's just say I start doing a meal prep for all my lunches during a work week. I would probably huff and puff about the 2 hours it took me on a Sunday afternoon to prepare all these meals. Then disregard the 40 minutes it takes me every day to leave the building, wait in line at a restaurant, then drive back to the building and get to my desk, leaving me 20 minutes each day to actually eat lunch. Now, 2 hours per week versus 3 hours and 18 minutes is a very fair trade, but only if I think on a scale of time spent on one axis versus time saved on another. Now, part two of that is the benefit of having a homemade meal every day for lunch instead of restaurant food. Not only will it be cheaper in the short term, but what if by doing that, I save myself many thousands of dollars over time by preventing conditions that cause disease and illness? Again, we will dig into that analysis on another video in great detail. But the gist of this is that if you consider the benefits beyond the moment, in most cases, you'll save time and money. I have a family, so the cost will double or triple for me. This is a big one, and probably one that will cause some disagreement. I will definitely tread lightly when it comes to telling someone how to operate within their family dynamic. But I would suggest when you combine some of the other examples in this video, specifically the issue of going in too far, too fast, and some others that are coming up, you shouldn't really go into a personal health journey with a mandate for others around you to join in. If you start for yourself, figure it out, find a stride on meals, discover what works, understand what adjustments you can make based on the schedule of you and your family, only then should you try to fold everyone else in. It's kind of like when you fly and the safety briefing tells you to secure your own oxygen mask before you try to help the person to your left or your right. In another video on this channel titled 3 Reasons Why People Won't Support Your New Healthy Diet, I share that not everyone gets the spark to start this new healthy lifestyle at the same time. So figuring it out on your own and then being the example may work better than forcing everyone into the unknown together. We confuse and conflate a healthy diet with adopting more complicated routines and intake requirements. Steve Jobs said it best when he said that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. I'll mention again that if you're doing some sort of challenge or crash diet or detox you heard about, that is a different story on a different video. A healthy diet is getting your food intake to be as simple as possible. I'm sure that you've heard that an ingredient panel should be short and have things on it that you can pronounce. In other words, simple. Starting a healthy diet doesn't mean you have to go to the store and stock up on complex vitamin blends, omega-3 and 6 supplements, probiotics, shakes, meal replacements, nutrient packs, powders, smoothie kits, and so on and so on and so on. Most of our minds go right to the commercials and the one health guy we know as soon as we think about moving in this direction. Well, the commercials say you have to have this type of protein for muscles. This one says that energy needs these vitamins. Weight loss is based on these minerals. That guy told me he takes this in the morning, that in the afternoon, and then mixes up this powder before he goes to bed for fat burning overnight. If you choose to have a complicated diet and supplement plan, that is completely your choice. I just want you to understand that that was your choice to add those extra costs. So it really wasn't the eating healthy part that hit your pockets. Over time, as you eliminate bad foods, get to a simple and real food diet and lifestyle, there are definitely some vitamins and supplements that you should be taking. I'll also cover these in other videos. One of those things is taking 5,000 IU or international units of vitamin D3 every day. But that's not really because of a new healthy diet. You should be taking that now. So the basic supplement intake you need, and if you have special conditions, whatever supplements and vitamins those may be, that should be part of your regimen already and not part of a new diet. I need to substitute everything I currently eat and drink with the healthy version of it. So the last one, and certainly not the least, is the thought that your new diet should be a replica of your old diet, but only in healthy form. When you think of it that way, you start to say, well, I normally eat this, and the organic version costs about $1 more, so I guess it is more expensive. I'm used to having pizza every Friday, and the place I go has the cauliflower crust with sugar-free sauce, but that's $2 more than what I normally get. I suppose I could start getting the organic, fiber-filled, vitamin-rich cereal with almond milk and start eating that in the morning instead of the sugary flakes that I normally use. Or how much is it going to cost me to eat the same amount of calories every single day, but just do it with salad and rice cakes? So there are obviously a few things wrong with this, and I tried to make it as much of a realistic exaggeration as I could. The point is, when you are looking at a new healthy diet, over time it should really become new. There might be some things you keep, of course, because if you eat good stuff now, then keep eating good stuff. But trying to replicate versus replace something will almost always cost more. So if you are holding fast on the fact that you got to have a certain type of meal every week, but the healthy version of it costs more, then at that point, spending more money becomes a choice you've made versus a result of the new diet. That's why insurance companies total cars when they are in an accident. If it costs more to fix something than get a new one, then just get a new one. The reality is there are some foods and recipes and meals that just weren't made to be converted into a healthy option. This subject really starts to get into the concept of psychological eating versus physiological eating, and we'll cover that in greater detail on another video. So that's the list. There are certainly more things that give people pause and hesitation, specifically when it comes to the cost associated with adopting a new healthy diet. But for now, I'll wrap this video and wrap the list up there. Please let me know in the comments what stood out to you as being good, bad, unclear, or maybe missing. Hopefully you got a few new ideas and ways to think about the notion of whether a healthy diet costs more or whether that's a smokescreen. If you found value in this video, please hit like and subscribe. My goal is to give you practical and straightforward information to help you do something great for yourself, and that's make an investment in your own health and well-being. Make sure you're getting notifications on this channel so that you can stay up on all aspects of your health, meals, movement, and mindset. Thanks for watching. See you next time.